Okay, everybody. I I'm taking a long break from recording. Just when I thought I was gonna have a good week, it's just I end up getting some of the worst news ever. Another horrible news that shook me. I'm really upset, and now I'm starting to rethink about everything. I'm gonna take a long break from recording, from doing anything. Probably lock myself up in the room, but um, reason the reason why is that is because my best friend of 20 something years, my ride or die, the closest best friend I ever had, somebody who really loved me, cared for me, and had my back, passed away. His name was Eric, and he was close to being 40 years old, but he was the sweetest, young hearted man I ever met in my life. Eric, if you knew Eric, you knew that he was the best person ever with the best personality. And him and his family used to live around my way. I've known Eric since I was 15 years old. And I've known the family. We all know each other since we was teenagers. He wasn't that much older than me. We was and we always been best friends, and we have several conversations where we always made it clear that no matter what, we was gonna be best friends for the rest of our lives, and nobody was gonna mess up that friendship. Nobody was gonna ever come between us. I used to date his cousin named David, and I because of David, I was introduced to all of them. Like, we all became cool. And even after me and David broke up, I was still cool with the family. But we really didn't hang out with each other until we was in our 20s. Um, but like I say, it's like talking to them, hanging out with them for years, having fun with them, playing games with them, spending some holidays with them, birthdays with them. We got to know each other very well. And one of the peoples that I was closest to was his mother before she passed away. She was a sweetheart. She was sick. Um, I'm not gonna explain everything about her on here, but every single person I spoke to in that family, they was the kindest peoples to me. They were so sweet. They actually had real conversations with me, and it wasn't about bullshit. They wasn't wasting my time. They was the sweetest peoples who knew how to navigate through life and what to do in crazy situations, and they was level-headed. And when they got to know me, they saw me as this, excited young woman that always was on my feet. Like, they always knew me as a person that was always on the go. They was always trying to let me know that everything would be fine, that whatever you go through, we got you. There was those type of people who always want to have your back. And when I realized Eric was that type of person, he Eric, he was always talking to me. He was always the first person to speak to me. And we kept in contact for all these years. Whether or not we was around each other, we always made sure we kept in touch. We used to always go through months without talking to each other, but always find a way to talk to each other again. And we had some good times. I could honestly say I had some amazing times with Eric. All the times we hung out, all the times that we went out and had fun, and the holidays we spent together. Like, the one holiday that stuck out to me the most was New Year's. So I was I was I was 18 years old, 18, 19 years old. I did one New Year's. And before New Year's arrived, before midnight, I ran to his house. He used to live up the block from me, and I ran to his house with my best friend, my other best friend, Bernard, at the time. And I said I was going to see you before the clock strikes 12, before the ball dropped. I was going to make sure I was going to see you. And I ran up there as fast as I could. It was damn near 11:30, and I ran to this man's house, and he was so happy to see me. He was so excited to see me, and he hugged me so tight and then kissed me. And it was like the best night ever, because it was like the three of us, we hung out, we drank, and we was just talking and listening to music until we fell out. And then fast forward, I found out Eric moved to Brooklyn, and we kept in touch ever since he moved to Brooklyn. And I finally got to see him last year in the springtime going into the summer, and we was like, it felt like we haven't seen each other in years. When we have been seeing each other, it's like, even though we have busy lives, we still try to make it possible for us to see each other, even if it was once or twice a month. We saw each other and we hung out with each other, and in the pouring rain, I went all the way out there to Brooklyn to see him. And I felt like I made his day better, because he wasn't doing the best, and you could hear it in his voice. Whenever I called him on the phone, I heard it in his voice that he wasn't doing so good, and that he was constantly frustrated, and life was just messing him up. And he was telling me about him and his ex-girlfriend, and how they was always arguing and fighting. And then I was always there. I was like, you know what? Forget about everything that's been stressing you out. I was going to come to you, and we're going to have fun together. We're going to hang out together, and we're going to eat, and we're going to talk shit until we can't anymore. And then I kept going out there. So I made it my business to visit Eric as much as possible, or we could FaceTime each other on the phone if we could. We talked a lot. And the last thing we said to each other was some hurtful shit. But at the same time, it was like, we knew what was getting in the way. Life got in the way, and it was just nothing we could do about it. So to end the argument, I told him to come to my house. And I told him, you are more than welcome to come to my house. This is when I was living in my old apartment. He said he was going to come back and see me. He came to my house one time, and this was at the end of the summer. And he never came to see me ever again after that. I don't know what happened to him, but I tried to contact him more and more. And he was just, every time I contact him, he just wasn't himself. It was like one minute he was emotional, then he was angry, and then he was okay. But I'm going to always remember the good times that I had with him. I'm going to always remember the times that we went through so many complications with life and everything with his family. I was there for him when his brother passed away, his mom passed away. I couldn't stop bothering him. I couldn't leave the family alone, because it's like I felt so close to them. And I felt close to the father as well. And when I met his father, I didn't even know it was his father at the time, because we was talking hella shit. And he was like, you know how you get together and you just started playing board games, and you over here talking shit to each other just to be competitive. But that's how we met. And ever since then, I knew from that day forward we was going to be close as hell. Like, we always going to be just like family. And I'm surprised they consider me like family, because at first I was scared that I was going to ever fit in like that. But they made me feel like I could, and I thank them for that. Thank you all. The White family. His last name is White. Thank you all for making me feel like I was one of y'all. Thank you for making me feel like I was loved and respected by y'all. Thank y'all for making me feel welcome in your home. I don't know if they'd be watching this on YouTube because some of them are not really big YouTubers, but everybody that I know is really watching my videos. I'm gonna put this on social media too, so that way they could see. But I'm gonna always remember Eric and everything he did for me, everything we did together, all the good times we had as best friends. He was my ride or die. Like, y'all don't understand. Eric was my homeboy. He was everything to me. And just every time I think about him, is just say his name, it just hits me like a ton of bricks. I just, I'm done.